Howdy folks, I'm Brian, and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not thinking the joke my family played on my girlfriend was a big deal? I'm a 25-year-old male, and I have a girlfriend who's a 23-year-old female who is absolutely beautiful. But she does have a rather large facial scar. My family often jokes about it. They have a super dark sense of humor. It bothers my girlfriend, and she says it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like she's being insulted under the pretense of it being a dark joke. Even though I explained it's just how they are and they don't mean any harm, she doesn't really want to be around them. I told her it was really important that we spend Christmas with my family. We would all quarantine first and test, but it was important to me. She resisted at first, but after some urging, she gave in. She said I absolutely could not excuse their behavior if they made rude comments about her. We got there, and everything was fine for a while. Then my mom and sister broke out their matching ugly sweaters that my girlfriend's face was all over. They both laughed, saying that my mom made them, screen printed, and it was just a joke. My dad thought it was hilarious. I even chuckled a little because she's really beautiful, so it's ironic that they put her on an ugly sweater. My girlfriend looked at me, and when I said that they were just being ironic, she shook her head, got up, and left. Didn't say anything to anyone, and just took the car and left. Good for her. I called her several times, and she didn't answer. The only text I received was, "You need to find your own way home." That really made me mad, and I called her a couple more times. The whole time, my mom is upset because it was just a joke, and she didn't realize my girlfriend was going to overreact like that. I told her that a warning would have been nice, but my sister agreed it was just a joke and my girlfriend was being a baby about it. I had another fight with my girlfriend when I finally got home, and she said I was a jerk for putting her in that situation, and I said I didn't realize they were going to do that and they were being ironic because she was beautiful. She said I let them treat her badly and was trying to make it her fault when it was really my family who was acting badly. I said it was just a joke and she was overreacting. She asked how it was supposed to be a joke. I said it was just their sense of humor. I said I was sorry that she was offended by the joke, but she ruined the whole day with her reaction. She said no. Them realizing she wasn't going to take their BS anymore ruined the day. We aren't speaking currently, but when a cousin called to wish me a Merry Christmas and ask how the day went, I mentioned what happened and he straight up called me a jerk for doing that to her. I don't really think that I've done anything though. I didn't think that they were going to do that, and I really thought it was just a joke and that she's overreacting. So am I the jerk here? So your girlfriend asked you to tell them to stop making fun of her. She's uncomfortable with this, and she was uncomfortable with them pointing out her facial flaw. And instead of stopping, they doubled down on this joke, got her face printed on an ugly sweater, and with the implication that she's ugly. A joke is only funny if you're not the butt end of the joke. And someone who is constantly the butt of a joke is a punching bag. And that's what happened here. You made your girlfriend and your family made your girlfriend into a punching bag. And you kept punching down at her, and you kept mocking her looks, and you kept mocking her scar. And when she asked you to stop, again, your family doubled down on it and turned it into a hilarious, ironic joke. No, it wasn't funny, and she told you it wasn't funny, and you didn't stand up for her, and you didn't tell them to stop. So, yes, you're a jerk, and you're probably single now because of this. I really honestly cannot blame your girlfriend for getting up and leaving without notice and just walking out. I think this was really hurtful, and I think it was completely insensitive, and it doesn't matter how dark your family's sense of humor are. If she doesn't like a joke, she doesn't like the joke. You're the jerk, massive you're the jerk. You might think your girlfriend is beautiful, but I can guarantee that when she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see her beauty, she sees the defacing scar. And you allow and support your family in making that the identifying feature of how they see her. By allowing your family to treat her that way, she is no longer your beautiful girlfriend, she is that freak with a scar that they brought over. The joke is not a joke if the subject is not laughing. You are such a jerk. I want to smack you over the head with this fact. Piggybacking on the top comment so people see this, as I also have a prominent facial scar, and I haven't seen this point anywhere. It's not just about being ugly. If you tell me I have an ugly nose or an ugly smile, no worries. It's rude, but I can deal with it. But people don't get large facial scars in a vacuum. It's very likely something awful and traumatic happened to them which caused the scar. The events leading up to my scarring were over 15 years ago, and I can still confidently say it was the worst thing that happened to me in my life. So not only are you and your family making fun of her for being ugly, they are likely reminding her of a very traumatic event in her past, and I'm sure she would like to move on and not have to think about it on what was supposed to be a happy day. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Liking a Stuffed Bat More Than a Bracelet? So for Christmas, my mother got me, a 22-year-old female, some nice presents. One thing that she got me was a very nice bracelet. I don't really wear jewelry, but I was excited. I opened the bracelet and tried it on, and thanked her for the gift. The next gift I opened was also from my mother. It was a tiny plush bat. It has blueberries on the wing, and it is absolutely adorable. I love the bat. Well, my mom is really upset. She's upset that I had so much more enthusiasm for the bat than the bracelet and just seemed so happy about the bat. I think she wanted the bracelet to be my favorite. Tonight, I was taking a picture of the tiny bat to send to my friends, and she told me that I am hard to please. I honestly feel like this is the opposite. Quite literally, a stuffed animal just made my whole day. That could have been the only thing I got for Christmas, and I would have been delighted. I tried to talk to her, but she just shuts the door in my face. I feel bad. I just really like the bat, and I'm not a jewelry person. But now I feel like that's immature and childish. I don't intend to play with the bat. I just think it's adorable and comforting with how cute it is. I'd probably just keep it on my desk to look at. Am I the jerk for liking a stuffed animal more than jewelry? Update. I'm not sure how to upload on this sub, but for everyone interested in the bat, you can both see and purchase one of your own at this amazing little Etsy store. So just for your sake, dear viewer, I'm going to show you a couple of these bats. They're very cute. They are adorable little bats. And here's one with blueberries on it. So all around, cute little stuffed animals. So I don't think you're a jerk here, OP, and the reason why is that we don't really control our reactions when it comes to gifts. Your mom scored a slam dunk when it came to your gifts. It was just not the one she thought she was going to score on. You loved it, and she really thought you were going to love the jewelry more, but like you said, you're just not a jewelry person, and that's fine. It's fine to love a stuffed animal more than an expensive bracelet. I think probably where your mom is frustrated is that she spent probably a lot more money on the jewelry than she did the bat. And so she probably felt like, what was the point in spending all this additional money on the jewelry piece when you loved the bat so much more? And that's just it. And like what you said, you could have literally gotten just the stuffed animal and nothing else, and it would have made your day. And I think that's probably where your mom feels bad about this, is that she feels probably like she spent a bunch of money for nothing. That you would have been just happy with the bat, and she doesn't understand why she bought this piece of jewelry if you were just going to be happier about the bat. Now, that's not to say that she's in the right here. I think she's acting immature by, closing the door on you and being so upset by this. So yeah, I think that's probably why she's upset here. So I think this is just going to take some time for your mom to process and get over. And hopefully you can sit down with her and tell her that you really love both and that you're just a sucker for cute stuffed animals. Hopefully she'll eventually realize that this isn't a slap in the face and that you really do like both, but that you just really thought the stuffed bat was adorable. We all have our preferences, and it's perfectly fine to have our preferences. And to try and force you to have a particular set of preferences, I think is really wrong on her part. But I think she wanted you to be excited about the gift that she was most excited about. And in some ways, when people feel like a gift is rejected, it feels like a piece of them is being rejected. And that's probably what's happening here with your mom. She probably feels like this is a rejection of her on some small part, when that's not really the case. You're just really excited for a stuffed bat. Not the jerk. When someone gives you a gift, they can expect a certain reaction from you. Of course, you should always be respectful and thankful, as you were, but she had no right to dictate which gift you needed to enjoy more. That makes no sense. Yeah. All right. Our final letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for My Reaction When My 30-year-old fiancé Exchanged His Gift with My 16-year-old Brother? I'm a 26-year-old female, and I've been with my fiancé for 3 years. We both work and we both share rent and other expenses, but my fiancé is currently looking for a new job. He lost his old job 3 months ago. My family lives 30 minutes away, and although it's been difficult this year, I decided to get my brother, who has a chronic condition and is struggling a lot lately, and was in the hospital a few days with anemia, the one thing that he's been waiting for some time. I got him an Xbox that cost me $300. He was so happy, and I'm glad I was able to cheer him up during those times. My fiancé received a few gifts from his family, but wasn't happy with any of them. I got him a perfume that he liked. We were both visiting my family, and we had dinner with them. My fiancé looked at the Xbox I got for my brother and didn't stop talking about it. My parents noticed. I told him to stop complaining about what he got and didn't get this year. That made him uncomfortable, especially since they've been dealing with my brother's health issues and needed to relax. We got home, and my fiancé took something from the closet and left for about an hour. I was asleep when he came back. In the morning, I was surprised to find my brother's Xbox in the closet. I woke up and asked him about it. Turned out he had dropped me off and drove back to my family's house and exchanged the gift with one that his aunt gave him. It was a $14 fancy pen for my brother's Xbox. He said that my brother was happy to exchange gifts. I was so mad that I told him that it wasn't for him, and he basically took something that isn't his. Not to mention a pen for an Xbox. That is ridiculous. He told me that maybe I shouldn't have spent $300 while trying to pay for rent. I told him that as long as I can pay rent, that's not a problem, and that he needs to find a job if he thinks my money isn't enough. I called my mom and found out that they didn't exactly exchange gifts. My fiancé pressured my brother into giving him his Xbox. I was livid and so mad, and I told him to take the Xbox back to my brother, but he said it was between him and my brother, but I insisted. He refused, and I ended up taking it back myself. My fiancé argued when I took it back and said I was pressuring him and treating him poorly and not having any respect for his feelings. I told him that he was wrong to make my brother give him his gift and causing him stress and ruining his joy. I apologized to my brother and my parents, and I felt awful because of how my fiancé behaved. My fiancé isn't talking to me and is saying that I have no consideration for his feelings and not understanding how he feels for not having any money to buy himself things that he likes. I'm surprised because he has never done anything like this before, and I get that he's struggling with finding a job, but that's not an excuse. So I first want to get this out of the way, and I want to say that you're not a jerk. And I want to say that I think that your fiancé is acting immature, and I think that he is really just acting completely out of line here. So it's clear that he wasn't satisfied with this holiday. He wasn't satisfied with his gifts, and he's just dissatisfied with life in general. And with things being stressful on him and not having a job, I can certainly understand why this would be such a frustrating situation and a frustrating holiday for him. In some ways, it might feel to him like you care more about your brother than you do about him. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that he may perceive it that way. And one thing that your fiance doesn't seem to understand about the situation is that your brother is not doing well. He's not doing well medically, and maybe this Xbox will help take his mind off of things and help him, heal and get better faster. He has these chronic conditions. He has a hard life, and you're trying to make his life and his quality of life a little bit better, even though he has a miserable time. And I think that's a really great thing. And I really think that this shows that you're a really kind and caring individual. And I think it goes a long ways. Stress makes people do irrational things, and long-term stress can make people change and turn for the worse. Hopefully this isn't a permanent change, but I think that he really needs to do some soul searching and try to understand where he's coming from with these. And it might be good to sit down and talk to him and try to uncover where these feelings are coming from, because this is just not, I just think this is completely out of line on his part. So hopefully things aren't over, and if they are, then I'm sorry, but if you still want to work on things and work things out with your boyfriend, I would sit down and try to open those lines of communications and try to understand where he's coming from here and try to understand why he's so jealous of this situation. And I think there's probably a lot more to his feelings than just, not having money to buy stuff for himself. Your 30-year-old adult fiancé stole from your sick teenage brother and then threw a temper tantrum when he got caught. Girl, if you don't throw out the entire fiancé with the trash where he belongs. So, info, why are you with this jerk? Like, what redeeming qualities does he possess? He's never done anything like this before, and I'm shocked. Ever since he lost his job, he's been behaving strangely. I think this is a good indicator that something deeper is wrong here. If he's an overall good person, I think that there's probably some salvaging this relationship. Under normal circumstances, if this was like a pattern of behavior, I could certainly understand people saying that he should be dumped. But with this just being a one-time thing, I think there's just something deeper going on here, and I think he either needs to go into therapy or, and needs to work out some of these issues. I really honestly think there's more going on here. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you didn't, consider giving me a thumbs down. Also, consider telling me why in the comments below. I'm always open to making changes. I'm always open to people's opinions and suggestions. And also, if you don't agree with me, I'm fine with that. I'm all right with us all having different opinions. I think that the world is a big place and there's room enough for everyone to have disagreements, and sometimes there's no right answer to things. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.